when you look at consumer confidence, and when you look at the Purchasing Managers Index and all those typical sentiment indicators that we look at, I mean, they're not that bad, really. I mean, certainly not in the U.S. Looking at small businesses in the U.S., they're super excited about what's going to happen with the tax cuts and the deregulation. And if they're happy enough, I'm sure they will also invest and maybe hire people, and you will get a positive spiral from that. Looking at Europe and the Nordics, we see that consumer confidence, it's not at great levels, but it's actually moving up again. But yes, I do agree that if you continue with this, every day something new, and maybe it's implemented, maybe it's not, and it's withdrawn the next day, one of the things that could suffer really is the predictability and therefore also the willingness to invest.
But Jens, and it's great that US investors, US consumers, US small and medium-sized businesses can see the upside in Mr. Trump's policies. And again, it's far above my pay grade to say whether they are good or not policies. But one thing seems very clear from my economic background and your economic day-to-day job is that if you create more spending and create tax cuts in an economy that doesn't actually need them at this moment in time, you create more demand and potentially you create more inflation, which means obviously therefore we have less interest rate cuts as well. Why is nobody stateside worried, it seems, about the implications of more spending in an economy that doesn't need it and higher rates in an economy that actually has been hoping for lower rates?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few answers to that. I mean, you can certainly add to the problem saying that extensive spending is not the only potentially inflationary part of this policy. You have the deportations of migrants, you have certainly the tariffs, and this can all add up to something that can cause inflation to come back. Even though we don't know that. Maybe one part of the answer why we haven't seen even more worries about this is that it has been a little bit toned down since he actually took office. It was not the first thing that he mentioned when in his inauguration speech. We haven't seen very specific plans on those tax cuts yet. What we have heard so far is about the prolonging of the tax cuts that are already there, and we kind of knew that already, regardless of whether it was President Trump or President Harris. We knew that they were going to be extended. So maybe that's part of the reason, but certainly if we do see signs of inflation coming back, we will have to scrutinize this even further.